vein systems or fault systems that are an excellent target too. So we're working on the Randys as at Poeketi, trying to expand this 4.5 kilometer trend.
That's now been resolved. We're drilling. It's been a bit slow. We've released the initial 50 meters of that hole.
Conservatively, we want to bring both to something decent where you can, hopefully hide a couple of million ounces.
The campaign is financed. We're not in a rush to do anything in the capital markets.
Today we're having a chat with Oscar Louzada, CEO, and Rayiez Bhoelan, VP of Exploration of Sranan Gold. Gents, thanks for swinging by, really appreciate it. Oscar, first a word to you. What's the update with the drilling campaign?
Drilling started a couple of weeks ago, about 5 weeks ago. We have regrettably encountered some mechanical issues. That's now been resolved. We're drilling. It's been a bit slow start. We've released the initial 50 meters of that hole.
And what's the current status with the mechanical problems? Are the drill rigs running right now?
They are. They flew into site on Thursday, last Thursday. Engineers, mechanics, and everything, including Kelly and his team. So yes, they are running, and we're continuing.
And talking about those initial results, Rayiez, those seem to be quite good. 11.5 meters at 3.65 grams a meter. That's almost a 40 gram meter hole. Quite a good hole to hit on your first go.
Yes, Dan. We drilled this hole and expected to hit mineralization shallow because we don't have core photos and half core of the previous operators. We drilled this hole to kind of see what one of the best hits was in the past in the same orientation. And we actually see weathered ore zone inside the saprolite. And mind you, the saprolite is basically weathered bedrock that's in situ. So that anomaly has a root in the bedrock. And we're seeing gossinous textures. Gossinous, you can imagine it's when you weather these ore zones, especially if they have a lot of sulfides. You have, a very, very semi-dense iron oxide mass. It has a texture, a beehive type texture. So we've seen those as indication of the ore zone, and a lot of transposed sugary quartz veins, which are similar to quartz veins that we've sampled in the workings in Randy's pit in one of our recent press releases, where we had 6 grams per ton in some of these west dipping sugary quartz veins. And we also have seen some indications in this drill hole of alteration picking up and changes in the fabric and intensifying.
Yeah, because like you outlined, you've seen that mineralization potentially pick up at depth again.
This might be a different zone. To get to the bedrock of the 11 meters at 3.64 grams per ton, we will have to step out and drill another hole beneath and get some oriented core measurements inside bedrock of that same zone. Once we confirm continuation at depth, we will also use our oriented core data to look at the structures and reconsider and kind of confirm some of our suspicions that we already have about the drilling orientation, and adjust that as we go along strike towards the Randy's pit. By now, we've also, in the meanwhile, we haven't sat still. We continued exploration at surface using the LiDAR, the magnetics, some field mapping data. We've continued, and we've put in some trenches south of Randy's, where we are now expanding the known surface expression of mineralization by 150 to 200 meters. And some recent releases showed what we've encountered in these trenches. And the grade is there to kind of prove that we are seeing some structures, and we're also seeing some different orientations. So the geological interpretation is changing and evolving as we go. But this is just prep work that we're doing to be ahead and have decent targets for drilling, because the Randy's pit, yes, has shown gold. People have mined gold in a really massive 40-meter pit, but we need to find volume and dimension and good geological understanding of it. So along strike, we're working on the surface with trenches and mapping as we speak.
Yeah, definitely great to hear that you haven't been sitting idle, and also at Poeketi you've been making quite a bit of progress over there.
Yes, we've recently sampled also a new shaft, and the interesting thing is this shaft is sitting 150 meters northwest of some of the shafts and workings that we've sampled in May this year, where we had 80 and 100 grammars. Now we have a 25 and a 26 grammer, 150 meter northwest of that. So, the Poeketi trend, we know, is a high grade corridor of 1 kilometer where we're seeing these fault filled veins and really brecciated and recrystallized vein systems or fault systems that are an excellent target too. So we're working on the Randys as at Poeketi, trying to expand this 4.5 kilometer trend going northwest and southeast at the same time.
Excellent. And Oscar, you've also not been sitting idle talking about going to conferences, working with institutions. Can you share anything on that front?
Yeah, of course. You catch me in Munich at the moment. I just arrived this afternoon, attending the Munich Gold Messe. I was in Vancouver last week and Toronto. Also went to the CEM conference in Muskoka. Met lots of existing shareholders and a bunch of potential new ones. We even had our first institution coming to site or come to site last week over the weekend. So yeah, there's been movement. We'll be attending the one-to-one conference in London in November, and then SMI 2 days later, towards the 20th of November in Zurich. So yeah, we have been out and about and spreading the story.
Perfect. And what is also, I think, important to note with this story is, of course, you're fully financed. You've raised something along the lines of 8 million just a few months ago.
Yeah.
So even with this delay, you're not in a rush to raise capital anytime soon.
No, we're not. The campaign is financed. We're not in a rush to do anything in the capital markets.
Rayiez, shiftly transitioning back to you, talking about, of course, really the scale that we're talking about now with those expanded zones. Perhaps you can outline really how much the targets have grown over the last few weeks to months with your trenching and those additional shafts that have been dug by artisanal miners.
I think in the last few weeks, because the Randys was a 150 meter wide pit, and we've had some old historic data, but for now, from where this first drill hole is situated, all the way to where we are doing, all the trenches right now, Stan, I think we're sitting, close to, we've grown that 150 meter zone of known gold mining to 600 meters. Yeah, we've grown it by 450 meters of known zone that, has an expression in the surface, which is not supergene. It is in the saprolite. This is why we place trenches where we do. We're using the LiDAR and the magnetics, and we will try to drill them and hit them at surface with trenching and mapping, and also at depth in the subsurface with the drilling. So that's the extent. In Poeketi, the surface mining pits we had already known about, but not right now. We've added another 200 meters to the north where we know that these guys are targeting, the high-grade fault-filled vein system. So right now, I would be able to say that Poeketi might be more than 1K long. And right now we're, 2/3 of the way to prove that Randy might also have that type of strike length. So we're working on it, and I don't want to say too much, but conservatively, we want to bring both to something decent where you can, hopefully hide a couple of million ounces.
Sounds very exciting. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time today, and best of luck during the upcoming drill campaign.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stan.